Let's go to Winnipeg now. We got Andrew Hustler Paterson with us from TSN 1290, host of the Afternoon Ride. How you doing, Hustler?
Hot Rod, great to talk to you, man. Getting by. Looking forward to getting a few more sports on. I'm very much into the beginning of Colonial today. Got a few bets down on the golf for the weekend. So, things are coming around slowly but surely. But, man, just listen to you talk about CFL this weekend gives me a bit of a pit in the stomach. I hope there'll be a nice tribute video to the 2019 Grey Cup champs at the beginning of the festivities tonight.
You can save that for your home opener, Hustler. Like, my God. The party's still on, eh?
30 years to have tracks. It's been a long wait.
Trust me, I know it. Like, I go on your station all the time, whether it's yours or the mornings, and guys are just sticking me on the Bombers winning. I'm like, guys, I wanted you to win, but get it all out. Yeah. How long do you think it will like that home opener will be one for the ages, man, when you do have it?
You know what? It'll be... I've thought about that quite a bit lately, actually. And I really do think, honestly, celebrating the Grey Cup win last year will be completely secondary to it. I mean, it will be a cathartic coming together of a community that, hasn't been able to do that for a really, really long time. And I don't think it'll be much different here in Winnipeg than it will be in Regina or in some of the NHL buildings when the teams finally come back. I mean, these teams are so much more than just, a team we follow or maybe go to a few games. I mean, I'm not sure there's anything that really brings communities together more than sports. And my God, we've seen a lot of communities torn apart over the last while due to a lot of things happening around the world, be it health, be it societal. Sports coming back will be great. And, it'll be awesome to have, say, oh, they're the Grey Cup champs. But more than anything, it'll be great just to see the CFL players on the field. And to be honest with you, I'm as much looking forward to getting together with fellow sports fans in the place that we love to go to, because we can't do it right now, and it's completely foreign, and it's screwing up everyone's lives, Rod.
Well, you see, Hustler, I actually get a tear in my eye when I think about what the CFL's meant in football in general, bringing people together on the micro level of the players in meetings, the locker room, the stadiums, just bringing people together. I do tear up when I think about it. So I try not to think about it, actually. But, by the way, Pat in Winnipeg writes in, she says, is there any way to watch these sim games? Right now, no. Nelson runs the simulation on the computer. We could broadcast it. We're awaiting approval to do it. If we don't get approval to do it, I'm not going to say what we're going to do, but we're awaiting approval to broadcast the simulation. Hustler, people want to see these games. I know a lot of people think it's stupid, but a lot of people want to see it.
Hey, a lot of people have nothing to do, Rod. I mean, I'm not a big Netflix guy, but I know people that have gone through like the entire catalog. I mean, it was fun. It's been fun watching a few old games here and there, some old NFL games, some great Cups. But, dude, I mean, that was kind of interesting in early March. We're now in June. The guys are supposed to be out on the field right now. So, listen, to have a little fun with some video simulations and get some of the characters around CFL football, be it announcers, commentators involved, and just give fans something to watch. I mean, you had Dusty on last segment. I mean, the job they did with that Oilers simulation, with him calling the games, I mean, it was huge for their show. Tons of fans got into it. And, for people in our business right now, without sports to talk about day-to-day, the games, the matchups, we've had to get creative. And, doing fun things, whether it be video games or streaming, has been a release for a lot of sports fans. Is it for everyone? No. But it's a great option to have. And I know there'll be a lot of CFL fans that are missing the game right now that'll probably spend some time, if they can, watching it and just having some fun without the real thing on the field right now.
Exactly. One of our viewers, Dan Heimberger, writes in, he says, Nickelback should do a Garth Brooks tribute and cover We Shall Be Free. That would be the anthem of the summer. Well, it would be, but we're not free. That's the sucky thing. Larry Dye writes in, he says, how many Grey Cups have the Bombers won? If I may, Hustler, it's 11, right? Because I've got a lot of Bomber fans in my life that have reminded me 10 versus 4 for the longest time. So it has to now be... Go ahead.
And for a while, it is now 11. I'll tell you the funny thing is, I mean, obviously we're all hoping that the CFL will be able to come back and play some part of a season. One of the other things, just from a football standpoint, the Bombers are bringing back most of that offense. Obviously, you've got Buck Pearson as the coordinator, but if there is going to be a season that is abbreviated, where every game has even more importance and a good start is imperative, a lot of confidence that the Bombers will maybe be in as good a situation as anyone, if not much better, just considering some of the continuity. Because, you can imagine the challenges for these coaching staffs going into the season. And I think about a guy like our good friend Paul Appolise going and starting a whole new program in Ottawa. Can you imagine what that staff is going through, never even able to get together with their players until potentially a few weeks before what could be an 8 or 9 game season with literally a sprint to the playoffs in the Grey Cup.
Hey, NFL teams are doing the exact same thing. If you watch the NFL Network, they're talking about rookie head coaches. Kevin Stefanski with the Browns is a great example, not being able to come together one time. Who knows if they're going to play or not? But it's all the same things that you're saying. And by the way, it's the Argos at Ottawa. We'll be running a sim on that. And I've picked Ottawa to win. Dupes, you picked the Argos to win, right?
Yeah,
you did. So, by the way, Hustler, I don't want to talk about the anguish of the NHL being off for 3 months and compare that to the CFL and how depressed fans are. It's too depressing. I have the Jets picked to beat the Flames in 4 in the best of 5. What's your read on that series?
Well, I really do like the Jets' chances. At the end of the day, if you look at these 8 play-in series, best of 5s, it's going to be, the margin of error is going to be so thin. And if you look at the matchups, I think most people would agree that that this matchup between Calgary and Winnipeg is probably the most intriguing, probably the closest. Certainly the Jets, forward-wise, probably they have a very deep group of forwards. They have a lot of guys that can score. Calgary certainly has a stronger blue line. But I think a lot of the support for the Jets comes down to one thing. The Jets have had the best goaltender in the National Hockey League this year. Connor Hellebuck should, and I believe will, win that Vezina Trophy. And when you're talking about a short series with so much on the line on one particular game, is there anything that's more impactful than a great goaltender? Probably not. So, hey, listen, I think a lot of our guessing and, predictions are going to be for naught, because a lot of what we expect might not be what actually comes out. But for a team like the Jets, they went through so much over the course of the season. They were playing their best hockey of the year right at the break. They'd won 4 in a row coming off that win at Edmonton. And as I said, Connor Hellebuck has been a rock behind the Winnipeg Jets all season long. So if you are a Jets fan, there's a lot of reasons to be confident and optimistic going into this. But that's not to take anything away from Calgary. A lot of great players in that room. And a team that, particularly when you talk about the blue line and guys like Matthew Tkachuk, made for the playoffs. But, if you're asking me to give a nod to the Jets and why, I think it starts in goal. And other than that, it's pretty close to a pick-em between the rest of the talent in both rosters. All I know is I can't wait to see it if it actually happens.
I know. Well, I'll tell you what, though. Paul Maurice, we talked about this. How long ago? A month ago? Mm-hmm. Paul Maurice, been through the wars. Jeff Ward, first playoff series. The Jets forwards blow the Flames out of the water. And the only check that I would give the Flames ahead of Winnipeg is their blue line. Flames have a very good blue line. For all those reasons, I think that Winnipeg will win the series in 4. But anything else, Hustler, before we let you go from the Slurpee capital?
You know what? Funny you speak of Slurpees. We're actually doing, I know Dusty and I have both been doing drafts of fantasy draft, ridiculous things. It started off with the quarantine grocery draft, and we've gone to some sports topics and some other things. Today, speaking of Slurpees, we are running through the convenience stores with the snack draft. Rod, what's the number 1 chocolate bar on your power poll? I need to know.
Oh, Henry. Bought one last night.
Oh, Henry. That's definitely going to be in the top. I imagine Henry will certainly be off the board in the first few rounds. But, hey, we're just having fun. I just heard from Premier Pallister in the last half hour that some of our travel restrictions are going to be eased. So there's no longer a mandatory 14-day quarantine if we leave and come back if we're going out west. So great news. I think some Manitobans, while we don't have football and hockey, might be able to do a little traveling, and maybe we'll come by your way and say hi to our friends out west.
Fingers crossed, buddy. Fingers crossed. Thanks for coming on and returning the favor, and let's chat again soon, pal.
Be well, Rod. All the best to everyone out there in Saskatchewan.
The great Andrew Paterson joining us from Winnipeg. Hustler, as they call him. Don't ask how he got the name.
I won't.
It was either his subscription as a child or his billiards prowess. You decide.
subscription as a child.
You don't remember Hustler magazine?
Yeah, but you don't subscribe as a kid. You get somebody older to go buy one and
Oh, is that what you did?
Leave it on the front step or whatever.
I guess you're right.
You're watching Rod Peterson On Demand. For more of The Rod Peterson Show, visit rodpeterson.com or follow Rod Peterson on social media.